So, how about the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that we could not even let the season get warm enough into the grave for the 2022 year? And here we are back with another A Show Divided. Can you believe it? Tisha C, how you feeling, sissy?
Absolutely lovely still. How are you?
Who asked you? I guess I just did, didn't I? All right, so Willie Epstein Jr., Tisha C, this is A Show Divided. We got this one titled as a chief in between, or no, a chief sandwich in between two Raiders, because this young gentleman that we're about to bring, this young gentleman that we're about to bring on right now, he is number one when it comes to breaking Raider news. So I actually have relied on a lot of his stuff in terms of getting the news out there. So yeah, we're gonna bring him in here in just a second. By the way, Tisha, in case you didn't realize, there was a parade in Kansas City a couple of days ago. Are you aware of that?
I am aware of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
get to
have a
that
note I
crap.
wrote down.
Yeah, we're
What?
gonna get to that crap here in just a second. So, um,
I didn't forget.
yeah. So before we do
I
that,
wrote
man,
down one note. One note.
yes, yes. All right. So before we get to that, and we bring in Marco, you already know what we got to do. So come on, let's go get it, y'all. You already know what it is when you hear that music and see that. It is another edition of the Shakeback Sports. No, I'm sorry. This is A Show Divided, presented to you by the Shakeback Media Group. You can see my esteemed star of the show. This is her show. What's up, Tisha? Why you look at Why you give me that look, man? We've been saying it. You know what? Forget that. If you don't want it to be your show, then we'll give it to Marco. How about that?
Give it to him. Let's go.
Okay. Marco, you ready to come in here, man? Shake your head like this. He's ready to come in. All right. So, as we said in the intro, here he is, Mr. Marco Raider. Him. Look, you know it got to be going on when you just are just known as Raider, right?
Right, right. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Little behind. Okay. I appreciate you guys letting me on. I'm happy to be. I appreciate the compliments at the beginning of the show. It means a lot.
Oh well, man, we want to thank you for
Thank you.
taking time out of your busy schedule to come and hang out with us for a few minutes. So yeah, we're gonna get to it here right about now. Tisha C is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, as you may be able to tell. Her
Mm-hmm.
stinking team had the stupid parade in Kansas City where it looked like everybody on the team was a little lit. Tisha, or have you come down off your high yet?
I have not. Thank you very much. Um, so I literally wrote one note, like for the parade segment. Can I do it?
Of course you can.
Goes like this. Can I get it?
No.
No, 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 no. Come on. I don't care what anybody says about anybody ever in Super Bowl speeches. Travis Kelsey just has a way with it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm done.
He
But you know
does.
what?
He does.
But you know what though? I will say this about Travis Kelsey. I mean, it's becoming harder and harder to hate him as a person. I still hate him as a football player, but I don't hate him as a person. And when I saw that thing about what he had to go through at the University of Cincinnati, that is truly a shakeback story. And he is very, very, very blessed to be in the position that he's in. And he actually has every right and room to talk the stuff that he does because he backs it up on the field. Marco, your thoughts about, I don't know if you saw the parade. I turned to it for a minute, and then I almost threw up in my mouth.
Yeah, I parade. I think it. The Chiefs obviously earned it this year. About Travis Kelce, yeah, like you just said, he's a great human. The show that him and his brother Jason put on, that New Heights podcast, amazing show. And I think a lot of the Chiefs players have really good personalities. Obviously, I hate them because I'm a diehard Raider fan. But like I said, I think a lot of them have really good personalities and they're really good people. So yeah, I saw the parade. Mahomes was out of his mind drunk. Let's be honest. He was lost. So
tell me he didn't earn that though. Come on, let the man live a little bit.
I don't think anybody's really tripping about it. I'm just glad that they didn't do what Tampa Bay did when they were throwing the trophy from boat to boat down there in Tampa Bay. What would have happened if that trophy would have landed in the water? Because they were all high. I'm telling you right now, they were all high. I would wanted to know who was going to dive in. They probably would have sent the kicker into the water to get the trophy. They don't think kickers are football players, so I'm just
scuba team or something.
Huh?
I said a scuba team or something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna get to the Raiders here in just a few minutes because Marco has some very, very insightful stuff in terms of who needs to go and who should stay, and then we're gonna get his thoughts about Derek Carr. But before we do that, let's talk about Eric sleeping with the Bieniemy because Tisha, he's no longer in Kansas City as your offensive coordinator. He's now with the Washington Commanders. How much of an effect do you think this is going to have on Patrick Mahomes and your offense as a whole?
Oh, goodness. I love, you just love poking. Just poke. Let's poke. No. So, honestly, I've been prepared for him to go for a few years. And it hasn't happened. Don't really understand exactly why you would leave for the same position, especially given, you're literally, hold on. I get it and I don't. It makes sense and it doesn't. If he can go and do great things, it will do wonderful things for him. But that's so super risky. So you left like a super safe space with friends. The relationship that he has with the team is massive. So do I think it's going to hurt us overall? Maybe not. Do I hope he does super well? Absolutely. But also it's hard for me to root for another team. So, I don't know. It's bittersweet.
Yeah, and at least with him going to the NFC, that'll give you at least some justification of being able to root for him because they won't be playing the Kansas City Chiefs until they reached the Super Bowl, which the Commanders ain't nowhere. The Commanders is probably as close to making the Super Bowl as we are. And I had titled this Eric B heads to the Capitol. So Marco, will this be punishment for him? Get it? Capital punishment. Get it?
I got it. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, so when all the rumors came out about this, I was kind of confused off the basis that this is a lateral move for him. And so, he's coaching the Chiefs. He's coaching Patrick Mahomes. He's coaching Travis Kelce. He's got all these good stars there. It's like, why would he leave? But then I see the side of it where he's looking at this like, well, I'm in the shadow of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I need to get out there and go and, show myself for real. And so for the longest time now, I don't understand why he hasn't been hired as a head coach yet. I don't know if it's something to do with his interviews, his past, or what. But honestly, like I haven't understood that. But when I think about it, this move makes a lot of sense for him. He's going to be able to run the offense. Ron Rivera, I'm guessing, is going to give him full authority. I read a rumor somewhere saying that he is going to be able to pick his own offensive staff. So that'll be interesting to see. And honestly, if you play fantasy football out there, Sam Howell's stock is up.
Yeah, and it should be because of what we've seen him coordinate in Kansas City. Now, this when you say it's a lateral move, I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree just a little bit because he didn't call the plays in Kansas City, and I wasn't aware of that until
me neither.
this whole thing broke. I wasn't aware that he wasn't calling the plays. So that, of course, was going to Andy Reid the entire time. And so I think for him that it is, I guess, from a title standpoint, it is a lateral move, but he's going to have and if he gets to bring in his own staff, and if he gets to coordinate the offense, which obviously he's going to be able to do, and if he's able to call the plays, then yeah, he's probably getting a little bit more money from Washington than he would have been from Kansas City. I see you over there licking your chops there, Tisha. What's up?
No, I mean, I hope he does well. I do. I really do. I hope he does well. It didn't make much sense to me, but I am biased. I'm not going to lie. I am super biased. Did I absolutely want to have him next year, last year, the year before? Absolutely. I don't think he gets as much credit as he is due. Just kind of like you guys saying, it's Andy Reid calling the plays. Okay, but it's still like, here's the thing. Time will tell. So we'll see. And I hope it works out well for him. I really do.
Yeah.
And to bounce off with, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Marco. You you know
I
what?
was gonna say,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to bounce off what Tisha said, this could really pan out to be really good for Bieniemy too, because there's some uncertainty right now in Washington with Ron Rivera, and so I know that they're for sale, and I've been hearing rumors that Jeff Bezos from Amazon is going to try to buy the team. So you could look at it as, hey, if this doesn't go well with Ron Rivera this year, you could just transition to Bieniemy to be the full-time head coach.
About that. And by the way, in case you guys did not realize, Marco is a guest. You guys know how we do it at the Shakeback Media Group. Once you're on, you are now family. So welcome to the family, Marco. And then, of course,
appreciate it.
And then thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter through the Shakeback Media Group's page, as well as SSN_LV Raiders on Twitter. That is my all Raider content Twitter feed. Make sure you guys get out there and like and subscribe and follow and hit the bell and all those other great things. So yeah, I wanted to piggyback on what you said about Marco, about him possibly taking over for Ron Rivera. I actually have a thought, and I need you guys out there that's watching to please drop your comments on if I'm really, if you think I'm high on crack cocaine, that's okay. You can tell me. Put it in the comment section. This is what I think. This is a 2-year deal for Eric Bieniemy in Washington. Andy Reid is 63, 64, 65 years old. I think this is going to be the perfect segue for Eric Bieniemy to go and be able to get the experience of choosing his own staff, coordinating the offense, and calling plays. So now his resume is going to be that much stronger. So when those 2 years are up, when Andy Reid is ready to go, they can slide Eric Bieniemy right in there. What do you think about that, Tisha?
Okay. I mean, sure. I think we have a little bit longer left with Andy, but I mean, would I be opposed to it? No, he's a great guy. He's super talented. You just literally blew my mind. Hold on. Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about that for a while because, and Marco, I want you to get in here with this one because you said it. You don't know if it, excuse me, if it's the way he interviews. I don't think it's that at all. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to take the Texans job. I probably wouldn't want the coach job either. So if it's in the back of his mind, and if there's some under the table deal going on between the brass at Kansas City and Eric Bieniemy after a few years or whatnot, and he gets to come back, I mean, am I high on crack cocaine when I think that, Marco?
No, that's good logic, honestly. Because I mean, you could be right. Honestly, I really thought that Bieniemy was just going to stick it out until Andy did leave to get the head coaching job at Kansas City. And honestly, I don't know if I see him taking a job at a team like Washington that's kind of in the middle, So it's going to have to be a retirement of a perennial coach, and he's going to take over. But that only makes sense with Andy Reid. But then Andy Reid is out there winning Super Bowls right now and said he's not going to leave for a while. So, I mean, it's hard to say,
Well said.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm glad that I do not need to go have my urine tested because uh Tisha, you can laugh. It's okay.
It went my way this time, so I was not prepared for that. Okay, let's.
All right. So with that being said, I mean, look, he's not gonna have a Patrick Mahomes. He's not gonna have a Travis Kelce. He's not gonna have an Isaiah Pacheco. He's not gonna have a Tyreek Hill that he's had in the last several years when he gets to Washington. That's why I was wondering if it was gonna be capital punishment for him because how? Yeah, I mean, we can the talent is there. He can actually run that RPO stuff. Probably just as well as Mahomes, maybe even better from a running standpoint. They have a couple of people there, a couple of pieces in place. I mean, Terry McLaughlin, he's not Tyreek Hill, but he ain't no scrub either. They have Jahan Dotson at wide receiver. They have Samuel at wide receiver. They have Brian Robinson at running back. So the offense.
I love Brian Robinson.
And he actually, to me, kind of mirrors Pacheco in the way that they run. I think he runs with a little bit more power than Pacheco does. But that dude, man, he will run over you. Remember that dude got shot in the leg before the season started.
Yes.
So we may be looking at a Washington Commanders team that I said maybe we're closer to getting to the Super Bowl than they are. I think I might have to recant and retract. Tisha, what you got to say?
There's a chance. The one thing, and there's a chance, and you know what? I would actually like to see it. I mean, I'm all for the underdog, but hey, so here's the thing. Here's what Eric Bieniemy is losing. He's losing the camaraderie. Sorry, I said that wrong. He's losing the brotherhood. Like, he's built up relationships with all of his teammates for how many years? So now he has to restart. That is something he's super, super good at. He's very, very good at that. So it's a blank slate. Let's see how good he does. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
No.
Huh?
I said no. I mean, they're all brothers. They all hang out. They're all friends. That's part of what makes a team, like spending time on the field, off the field.
Right.
No,
but I think yes. I think that he will be okay in terms of that department. I mean, you don't get to where he is without being able to have the ability to do that. Tisha, I think you might be on some sour lemons or something because you don't want to see him go. But I understand. Let's get to some social media comments because the last time we did this, I forgot to read them, and I'm glad that everybody came back. Here we have George B. He is always representing, man, watching via Facebook from Cleveland, Ohio. Not like David Carr. Okay, Marco, I'll let you have that one a little bit later. Travis not only went to UC, but also is a Northeast Ohio kid as he went to Cleveland Heights High, just like his brother Jason. Yep. And George says, why did Bieniemy leave? He absolutely should be a head coach, but this has been a slight to all the other 31 teams. Yeah, and I somewhat agree with that, but I think like I said, I think it's a perfect opportunity he's going to be waiting for. 24 Graphics. I don't know who they are. Marco, do you know who they are?
I know who that is.
Oh, okay. Well, he says salute to the panel. And we thank you, kind sir or ma'am, or all of you guys out there at 24 Graphics for your viewership. And then George says your logic on the possible scenario with Bieniemy has valid points, but in my mind, he should be a head coach right now. And these teams over-abuse the Rooney Rule. Okay, the Rooney Rule. Can I just go off for a second, y'all? Just for a second.
Go for it.
The Rooney Rule is a complete joke. It is a complete joke. While I understand the reason for it, while I understand the purpose in what it is intended to do, it is a complete joke. And the reason why it is a complete joke is because you have to have a rule in place for such things. It is a joke. And these owners and these GMs and these president of franchises and football operations and all that other BS have come up with subtle ways to not hire a person of color to be a head coach. They've come up with different ways to not do it. It is a complete, utter joke. That's all I got. Any thoughts from you guys on the Rooney Rule? And that wasn't even in the outline, but since George brought it up, I had to go off on it. Tisha, what you got?
I was already ready for Eric to be gone. Let's go. So for him to go, like you said, to kind of a lateral position, it was very shocking to me. I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, I understand it, but I mean, come on. I wanted bigger and better things for him 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah.
Marco, any final thoughts on Rooney Rule?
I just think that sometimes the Rooney Rule is a little unfair. And obviously, the NFL will have its ways with hiring and stuff. I think it's a little far-fetched that teams get, two third-round picks for hiring a person of color, or, it's just kind of like, okay. I don't have many thoughts on it, and I don't like to get into that stuff, but,
Yeah, I know. I understand. But since George brought it up, I had to speak on it. All right, so let's move on to the next part of the show. Raider fans are the illest. That is us. All right, Marco, you are very, very good. And go ahead and throw out your Instagram right now, because people need to go there right now and follow you.
Yeah, so I do all types of different content. I post news. I post stuff about free agency coming up. I post stuff about the draft. Anything Raiders related, you can find it. Raiders with Marcos. It's the same exact logo you're going to see in the thumbnail. And I appreciate all the follows. I love what I do. I've been doing it for 3 years now. It's an absolute joy.
Yeah, and this guy is on point when it comes to this. And let's just roll right into it, because you had a couple subjects on your Instagram page, 5 players that the Raiders should let walk. Tell everybody out there that's watching and ultimately will be listening those 5 players and why we should let them walk.
Yeah, so I put Jayon Brown, and I think the answer to Jayon Brown is simple, like I said in my post. He was brought in to be somewhat of a starter at middle linebacker. It didn't work out. He just got injured. He was a healthy scratch. I think he only played 5 games. It didn't work out. You cut your losses and move on. I also listed Ameer Abdullah, and I get it. The Raider Nation really likes Ameer Abdullah. I think his special team skills are very valuable to the team. However, Ameer Abdullah is in his mid-30s, and I don't see a need for us to bring him back if you can just replace him on the special teams end. The Raiders right now 3 other young, capable backs behind Josh Jacobs. Zamir White. They have Britton Bird out of UCLA in the 7th round. I want to see him a lot this upcoming season. And then they have a young guy out of UTSA by the name of Sincere McCormick, and he should get some burn. And then they also have a Josh McDaniels favorite in Brandon Bolden. So, at that point, it's like, where does Ameer Abdullah fit in? Last year, the Raiders kept 5 running backs, and I was really surprised. They kind of made it work, honestly, so that was kind of impressive. But among the things that didn't work with the Raiders last year, but that was kind of impressive. And then I listed, I listed Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau was our tight end too. He's been a tight end too since he got drafted out of LSU in 2019. And look, I like Foster Moreau a lot. A lot of the Raider fans do as well. I think he's good, but I also think he's easily replaceable. I think we can find a guy in the free agency market, which is probably, I don't know, let's say 70 what Foster Moreau is. And Foster Moreau is good enough to be a bridge gap starter for another team. So he's going to command somewhat near starter money. And I just feel like at some point, Raiders financially are going to be in a situation where they may be able to afford it anymore. And so I understand a lot of the fans' frustration in me putting that on my list, but it just, when you think of the totality of it, I just think that he's going to end up leaving due to the financial side of it. And then I put Jerry Tillery. We claimed him off the Chargers waiver for the season. And I even made a post about how excited I was for him to come here. And he made the Raiders defense kind of look somewhat different during the Denver and Seattle game. But honestly, it kind of caught up to him. He made a clumsy mistake in the Rams Thursday Night Football game, which kind of eliminated us from playoff contention. That was terrible. So I think ever since then, it's gone downhill with him, and I think it's time for us to move on from him as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that Jerry Tillery play against the Rams when you had a quarterback that had only been in your building for 3 days.
For 2 days.
2 days. For 2 days. This dude didn't even know which locker room to go to. And he comes in and okay, I'm not gonna do that right now. All right. Outside of quarterback and running back, Marco, what's our biggest priority?
Okay, so I've been working on this one for a while. I've long said that I think our biggest need outside of quarterback and running back, which we don't have a need at running back, we need to resign Josh Jacobs. But I think that the Raiders' biggest need right now, outside of those two positions, is defensive back. And the reason why I think that is, well, one, outside of Nate Hobbs and maybe a little bit of Amik Robertson, there wasn't much to provide the Raiders in terms of defensive back. If you look at the draft this year, I've been doing a lot of homework on these guys. There's a lot of good names in the draft this year in terms of cornerback. And if you need a cornerback, you need a DB, this is your year to have one. Devon Withers out of Illinois, Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, Cam Smith I think he's out of South Carolina. And then you got Jerry Porter out of Penn State. 4 guys alone who can easily be starters on the Raiders team that also needs to resign Rock Ya-Sin. I mean, so the Raiders need DBs. The Raiders need almost everything on defense, honestly, but I think DB is one of the bigger needs.
And what do you feel about Will Levis as what mockers are saying is going to be the 7th pick? Are you sold on him?
So originally I was kind of on Will Levis. I think he's got a lot of good rates, but I also think his floor reminds me of Derek Carr. And honestly, I don't know if we can handle that for another 10 years, per se. I think that Levis shows a lot of good things. I think Levis has some franchise-changing skill set. I also think that he's got good accuracy and touch on the ball when he throws it. So I like a lot of good things about him. Personally, I would not take him at 7, but he's definitely mid-first rounder.
Yeah, I kind of would like to see us go Jerry Porter Jr. with that 7th pick if he's going to be available, but I don't know if he's going to be there.
Jerry Porter has the arms of a... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would joke that Jerry Porter has the arms of a pogo stick. His arms are long.
I mean, if he's half as good as his pop is or was, then he's going to make a very, very good pro. We got a couple of social media comments before we get up out of here. P-Dog. Oh, wait a minute. P-Dog 006 says, NFL is on that WWE-ish, holding others back. I don't watch WWE anymore. So if anybody wants to translate what that means, I'm more than happy to listen. Because I have no clue. All right, and then he says, XFL way more exciting. Yo, real talk. Cleveland Farrell should be gone. Yes. Cleveland Farrell should.
Let me touch on Cleveland Farrell.
Go ahead.
Let me touch on Cleveland Farrell. So, yeah, we and you discussed that in the Instagram DM a few days ago. So, yeah, I kind of thought about after that what you said, bringing back on the real cheap. But I think Cleveland Farrell showed a lot this year in the system. He's not a starter, and he never will be a starter. But sometimes in the NFL, you want guys with high motors and guys with enough experience to be good depth guys. And so I think Farrell can come in on a pinch and be solid depth for us. And so that's why I'm willing to bring him back. Now he could easily go to another team like, I'm going to throw this out there, but like Cleveland, who has a lack at pass rush and possibly crack a starting role there, which he's fully capable of doing. I would bring him back at like a 2-year, $10 million contract. But anything higher than that, I mean, if he wants to go pursue a starting role elsewhere, you can let him go.
Yeah, that's what I think people in Raider Nation is thinking about, because here you had the 4th overall pick from a few years ago, and he just hasn't lived up anywhere close to that billing. And if he's looking for a payday like that, then he ain't going to get it from us. And I don't really see him getting it from anywhere else for that matter. All right, one more comment before we get up out of here, y'all. George B., would the Raiders possibly move up to get the player they want in the first round? Well, we already had the number 7 pick. So the tea leaves are all reading, George, that the Raiders are really, really wanting Will Levis, and I'm just completely not sold on that dude whatsoever. Maybe it's because he went to Tim Couch University, Kentucky. I don't know.
Literally.
Tisha.
That's funny.
What?
Hey, Tisha. Are you sick of us talking about the Raiders now?
No, I'm loving it. I need to soak it all in.
Did you want us to touch on Derek Carr?
Say it again, Marco.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you want us to touch on Derek Carr?
Yes.
For
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, because you had mentioned something when I was live on Instagram, whatever day that was, that you wanted to touch on Derek Carr, and I had to get off. So, yeah, let's hear it.
So, yeah, I was hoping that I wasn't going to have to keep doing this, but, obviously Raiders are moving on. And so he basically denied being traded. And so here's what I want to put out there as almost like a public service announcement, especially to the Raiders fans watching this. Okay, I get it. I get the side that, he should have helped the Raiders out because the Raiders gave him the opportunity of his career to be the starter for 9 years. So I see that side of it. But I also see the side of him saying, okay, well, they benched me in a very unprofessional way, and I don't want to help them anymore and, screw them pretty much. And I see both sides of that. And I think Derek's going to do the thing that's best for him. I know he's taking visits with the Saints or Jets, so I think ultimately he probably ends up there. I made some mock trade packages earlier in the offseason, and I mocked him going to the Jets, so I could see that. But here's the thing with this, right? And I get the frustration all around. But, he's gone now. And to me, it's like, isn't that what Raider fans wanted? Shouldn't we all be happy that he's gone? Shouldn't we be happy to see a new era? Whether that be Stroud, whether that be Levis, Stidham, Garoppolo, you know what I mean? It's like, I get it, but then I don't get it. I think the fans just need to move on.
Yeah. And my whole thing was, who are you going to get this better?
Right.
And we deserve an explanation. Josh McFraud and
oh my God! Don't even get me started on that guy.
Yeah, we will save that.
Started.
We will save that for another time. And Tisha absolutely loves when we down talk our team. She's over there rolling her eyes a second ago. She didn't think I saw her.
No. Yeah, you forget. What? I hate playing you guys, especially when Derek Carr has been quarterback. You never know. You're either gonna lose badly.
No, he's no Patrick Mahomes. He's no superstar quarterback. That's why you guys have beaten us.
You can still lose on any given Sunday. We've done it. Yeah. So I have to give him a lot of respect. As a quarterback, it's hard to play.
Here's my thing about Derek Carr. He's never going to be a top 8 quarterback, but he's not going to be any worse than 14 or 15.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's a quarterback, especially if he goes to the Saints. I think he would flourish with the Saints because they have all of the pieces around him, and they have a defense that's already ranked top 7 in the NFL. Whereas when he was with the Raiders, never did the Raiders have a defense that ranked 20th or better. So he will be walking, and I think that's the reason why he declined the trade to the Saints, because if he goes there as a free agent, that means the Saints would not have to give up any compensation for the trade. So,
and that's the other part of it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, Marco, plug all your stuff, man. Plug all your socials and shows or whatever else you got going on over there, man. We're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah, so it's mainly the Instagram. Like I said, Raiders with Marcos. You guys can follow me, if you would like. I try to post daily there. It's kind of hard with my schedule. And then you can follow me on Twitter. It's the same exact username, and it's going to be the same exact logo. And then I guess if you're into TikTok, you can follow there too. I don't really post on that, but it's the same username. So everything's Raiders with Marcos. You guys can go follow me, and I appreciate the new followers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tisha, it's your show. You're the star. Any final thoughts?
No, it's been lovely. Thanks. You guys have both been wonderful. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for letting me come on.
Cheese by a million. Hold on, though. I did the no already, so I kind of ruined that one. But yeah.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Who cares? I hate them. All right, let's get up out of here. 4.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going on with my computer? That's messed up, man. That's messed up. Okay. So we we're just gonna do it this way. Well, something's going on. We're gonna get up out of here, man. I can't play the outro music for whatever reason or another. So it's gonna be a very, very boring outro. So with that being said, for Raiders, Marco Raiders, for Tisha C, this is Willie Epteen Jr. Saying y'all stay safe. Y'all hug each other, y'all love each other, and we'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.
Thank you.